Hey guys, it's Adam. I hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome to Do You Watch Anime, a show where I sit down with a guest every week and ask them, Do you watch anime? And we go from there. And today, joining me is voice actor in anime such as My Deer Friend Nokotan, Nickolette Kong. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
So, so do you watch anime?
No.
Okay, thank you so much.
No, I do watch anime. I do watch anime. Sorry, I'm gonna fix my mic a little
All
bit because
good,
I
all good.
see.
So, how did you originally get into anime?
It all started on the day I was born. That's kind of half true, actually. My
Oh wow.
first birthday party was actually Pokemon themed.
Oh wow. Damn.
It was really cute. I had like a little party hat. There's a picture of me as a baby going like and having like a little party hat with Pikachu and like the bottom rim had a whole bunch of Pokemon. Like I think there was like a Charizard, the
Yeah.
Venusaur, like the starters
Yeah.
and Blastoise. Yeah. But when I really started getting into anime was probably when I was in grade school.
Okay.
'Cause I don't have, like, a distinct memory of when I started watching anime,
Mhm.
but I do remember the feeling of being sort of different when all of the girls in class were pretending to be warrior cats, and I was and I was and I was into other media at the time.
Valid, valid. Yeah, I was all the boys in my grade were playing sports and I was Kamehameha-ing
That's
by
still
myself.
it's essentially a sport.
Exactly. Exactly. I I wish they felt that way. Uh, so, what were some of the first anime that you were like, "Ooh, this is anime. Like, this is really cool."
So, of course, Pokemon,
Mhm.
that was anime that I really grew up on. My parents had bought the entire VHS set
Oh, wow.
of the, Indigo League,
Mhm.
and I didn't really appreciate it as much when I was, like, a baby.
Of course.
But, when I was, like, a little bit older, entering into maybe, like, early middle school,
Mhm.
me and my younger siblings would revisit those tapes, and we were like, "Wow, we love Pokemon." And I remember watching, Pokemon Johto at my abuelita's house a lot,
Yeah.
and, my first anime outside of, Pokemon, I think, was Mermaid Melody Pitchy Pitchy
Oh my
Pitch.
god. Okay, that's a was not expecting that. Damn.
I love Mermaid Melody Pitchy Pitchy Pitch. I'm begging for a reboot. There's so many anime that I want, like, reboots of, and they all
Mhm.
happen to be, like, old school magical girl anime.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a first on the show.
For real?
Yeah, straight up.
Guys, let me put y'all on Mermaid Melody Pitchy Pitchy Pitch. It's about singing mermaids and their magical powers.
Yep. Well, to be honest, I didn't even know Tokyo Mew Mew was a thing until like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, that's kinda
Um,
crazy.
yeah, which is like because my fiance was like, "Yeah, this is one of my favorite magical girl shows," and I was like, "What is this?" And she's like, "You didn't watch this growing up?" I was like, "No."
To be fair, I have also never watched Tokyo Mew Mew.
Hmm. Damn. It's
Yeah.
good. I mean, the 4 Kids dub is batshit insane, but
I think that's the only reference point I have of it,
okay.
because I remember watching 4 Kids. That's actually I consumed some of my Pokemon content through there as well,
Yeah.
and, yeah. Sorry. All I
Oh, good.
remember are, like, girls working at the maid cafe,
Yep.
and, like, that's it.
Yep.
There's
Yeah, there's some weird like eco like friendly kind of how do I explain it? All of their like animals that they kind of like transform into slash like have
Mhm.
the powers of are endangered species, and like there's always like this eco kind of like environment first like lesson at the end of it, and I'm like, this is so sick.
No,
Like,
that's awesome. I did not
yeah,
even realize that.
yeah, just
That's
don't watch the reboot, it's not worth it.
oh.
Yep.
Oh.
I yep. Apparently it really angered my fiance. They were like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is nothing like the manga at all. Um
Okay, understood,
yeah,
understood.
yeah, which is always just a great way to go. Uh
Mhm.
so it I always ask this when Pokemon comes up. If you could voice any Pokemon, which one would it be? Okay, I wasn't expecting that one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, you had that on like lock right there. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
I know. I've thought about this.
Yeah.
I love
Oh my
Togepi.
god, so
She's
cute.
so useless at
Yep.
she's so useless for a long time,
Yeah,
but
a
she's
very long
iconic.
time. It's just it's a 12-year-old Misty carrying around a literal baby.
Yeah, I loved Togepi though.
Oh yeah.
Like just being carried around, being really powerful, but just never executing it, you know? Just hit him with it.
Yep.
like all the time.
Oh my god. So besides Pokemon, what are some of your favorite anime ever?
Okay, it's gonna be a really random ass pool from
You know what?
everything I've been previously describing.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite anime of all time is Psycho Pass.
Okay, okay. We love
Yeah,
that.
not anything past the first season doesn't exist. But like, like the Psycho Pass season 1.
Noted, noted. Okay.
No, I'm so serious.
Yeah.
'Cause like at the time I was getting really into more of like the psychological like thriller anime,
Yeah, yeah.
and I watched Psycho Pass and I was literally obsessed with the concept. And like it kind of really gets you into this question of like kind of how much control is too much control, right?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was like they would neutralize regular ass people for having like big emotions,
Mhm.
right? And so in growing up, my philosophy was very like stoic until I became an adult and felt a lot more human. That's like a whole other story.
Yeah.
But I would really like I considered emotions as really inconvenient and very like if I was sad about something, you get 5 minutes to grieve, then it's done, you've digested, you're over, let's go. Let's move on with the life. And so like
Yeah.
and so like having this concept of this kind of society where emotions were not only like inconvenient but like penalized
Mhm.
quite literally, like, almost, like, with your life or just, like, with yourself and with your being,
Yep.
it put things into a lot of perspective for me about, like, well, how necessary are emotions and how do I self-regulate and digest them?
Mhm.
And so, that was something that I liked about the anime, and, of course, like, the thriller aspect of it, the guns are really
Oh my
cool.
god, the guns are so cool.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my diabetes.
Oh, it's okay.
We're good, we're good.
Sorry, it's just the sorry, that's my diabetes.
I know.
Oh my god.
We're good, we're good.
Oh my god. So yeah, Psychopass is one of them, Pokemon.
Mhm.
What are some others?
Okay, going back to magical girl anime,
Mhm.
Shugo Chara.
Okay.
Although, I will say caveat, I haven't watched it in a really long time. I only have, like, a good memory of, like, watching it
Yeah.
and having a lot of fun watching it. I
Mhm.
don't know how well it's aged over the past couple of years.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
it's been a while for me as well, so
yeah, didn't realize the cat guy was that old and Amu was, like, 13. So, like, you know
Yep,
growing up, you start putting things into perspective. So, I am hoping for another reboot.
yeah.
Well, not another reboot, a reboot of Shugo Chara and maybe, making that relationship a little bit more age appropriate.
Oh, please, please God,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. And then, like I said, Mermaid Melody,
Mhm.
super nostalgic for me, so it's always gonna be like, yeah, I'll always be cheering for it.
Yep.
Um, Let me think. Uh, really good anime? Oh my god. Um, this one's a new one. Kaiju number 8.
Oh,
I really love
oh,
Kaiju number 8.
so good. So good. Literally one of my favorites from the past, like, year and a bit,
No,
like,
for sure.
oh.
Like, that anime got me to stay on a treadmill for 40 minutes. So it's just like so I also love, I as, you get older and become an adult, you
Mhm.
like seeing more stories are centered around adults and,
Yep.
like, not necessarily high school life.
Mhm.
And so that was a big factor into me, like, really enjoying it. Um, and then also some of my friends are in it, and they
Yep.
did so good,
Yep.
and the animation is so good,
Mhm.
and, Kafka is just so funny.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, it had been a while since I had like that visceral shonen like let's go like oh my god like
Yeah.
standing up as I'm watching this um like let's go and like yeah I just love that it's like about a 32-year-old man and I'm like thank you I feel seen uh
Yeah.
and it's just oh it's just in the animation oh so good, and like the
Mhm.
music. Oh my! I think it should have gotten
The way
nominated.
I
Oh
do. If I knew the words.
yeah,
I
kind of.
feel like I should know the words, but
Yeah, the score is so good, and it's oh it and the like the world. I always say my one of my favorite parts is the opening where the kaiju comes in the first like couple minutes, and the traffic lights turn to kaiju, and I'm
yes.
like that's something you don't think about. Like,
No, yeah, just the way that they also built, like, the military system was
mhm.
impressive. Like, having Kafka a part of, like, the literal cleanup team of, like, the monsters, like, you see
Yeah.
a bunch of, like, these kaiju movies and, even let's say, like, Godzilla, for example,
Yeah.
right? Like, you see the destruction, you
Mhm.
see the military attempts to, like, put down the monster, but then
Yeah.
it's like, what happens after,
Exactly.
right? And, like, you need your biohaz team to, like, clean up the mess and make sure things are safe for people to come back to,
Yeah.
and it's just interesting to consider that aspect of the world
Mhm.
and to see how much care that they put into it to incorporate it into the story and make it integral to Kafka's character as
Mhm.
well. I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just it's just it's so good. I'm so excited for season 2. Oh, so excited. So moving into anime that you voice in, um, you voice Tanuki Koji, in My Dear Friend Nokotan.
I
What was
do.
what was your reaction to being cast in that absolutely ridiculous slash best anime ever?
Um, my reaction was, like, basically kind of like, "Oh, shit, finally!" Um, like, I can't even remember how exactly I felt
Mhm.
because it was, like, simultaneously, like, monumental in my life, but it was also so, like, casual because I guess, like, once you get the role, right? Or, like,
Mhm.
once you're in it, you're in it. There's no time to necessarily digest and, like, celebrate because now you're doing the dang thing. And it's one thing to, like, audition, 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 and, like, you put your heart out there, but then you're thrown into the thick of it, and for me, it was my anime debut. This is the
Mhm.
first anime I've ever voiced in.
Yeah.
And so I'm going in there very green, not knowing what I'm doing. Like I've had a lot of acting training and ADR training prior to this.
Mhm.
So it's about executing and being ready when like the time comes. And so the celebratory moments happened a lot later, like after recording, right?
Mhm.
Because all the pressure of like, you gotta do this is like alleviated, right?
Mhm.
But I was very thrilled. I was extremely happy for sure.
Mhm.
But, we went right into recording and there was, no time, at least for me, because like I don't know. Maybe, again, it's just how my mind works.
Yeah.
There is no time for me to kind of revel in the fact that I'm an anime. It's like I need to show that I belong in anime.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, that's also
Mhm.
kind of like what do you call it? A uh, what is it called? Like in the epics where you have like a fault or something. But it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like I feel the constant need to always like prove myself.
Mhm.
But it is a great motivator to drive to do better. But it's also, I'm given opportunities for a reason. And
Mhm.
so we take them. We take
Yeah.
them and we go.
Yep. Yep. And how was it being a part of a remote dub? Because in the year 2024, that's hard to come by.
Mhm. I was very excited, and
Mhm.
that I don't think um, the impact it had really, I hadn't realized it until, like, we started airing the show, right? Because all of my work has been remote so far, and so I'm just like, "Okay, another remote job," but
Yeah.
also, given that it's anime, I knew it was pretty big, right?
Mhm.
At least for me. And I also didn't know how big My Dear Friend Nokotan was until I saw the memes going around, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute." And to have it so positively received by the VA community and by fans of the show, it really made my heart, like, really happy
Mhm.
because I'm also a disabled actress, and that show helped me pay for my insulin. Like,
Hey.
I was uninsured at the time, and I was like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
So, um, obviously, for, like, a myriad of reasons, um, it was a huge success and a huge win for remote voice actors, and I was very touched by how many people felt so inspired to, continue their voice acting journey because, I know a lot of remote actors are very discouraged by the lack of opportunity.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things. I do think that there is ample opportunity in remote voiceover. You just got
Mhm.
to know where to find them, make connections and network, right?
Yeah.
And number 2, anime remotely is very, very hard to come by.
Mhm.
Very, very hard. And a lot of remote anime work that I've seen are either for established actors who regularly work with particular studios or are more of like your etchy or hentai
Yeah.
work. And so I understand the frustration when it comes to trying to break into a very competitive field while
Mhm.
not being close to a hub. Um, and so I am so glad that I was able to, you know, add to this, not necessarily argument, but add to this, what's the word? Uh, be like be evidence that
Yeah.
remote recording is possible and that it can be executed very well.
Mhm.
And not to mention, this was kind of an international endeavor. I don't think a lot of people realize. Because
Mhm.
a lot of us, the voice actors were mainly, if not all of us, were based in the US, but in from different states.
Yeah.
Um, my director was in like Slovakia at the time. My audio engineers were in Brazil. It
Damn.
was like, it was an international affair.
Yeah.
And so I've always been so grateful to be a part of this cast, and the team that we have, our cast is so lovely, and it's like, this was the best first anime debut experience I could have ever asked for.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I love it. I love it. And like I've had a majority of the cast on at this point, and they've all been so
Yay!
lovely, and I love them so much. Um, and I just think when it got announced that it was getting a dub, I was like, okay, that's awesome. I love it. I had
Mhm.
saw the trailer and I was like, I need to watch this regardless. Um, because I saw the trailer with her going through the classroom with the
Yeah.
antlers just destroying the classroom. The people are like, "Oh my god, yay!"
Yeah.
Incredible. I was like, "This is going to be the greatest anime of all time." Um, and then I heard that it was going to be remote. It's remote voice actors, and I was like, "That's incredible." Um, because
Oh my
yeah,
god. When I initially was told that, I was being cast for My Dear Friend Nokotan,
yeah,
because I didn't know anything about it at the time,
yeah,
I literally thought that they sent me a typo. Because I was just like, "Oh, these international clients."
yeah,
It's just like, I was like, "My Dear Friend Nokotan, okay, that's so cute."
yeah.
So I looked it up, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, that's not a typo."
Oh no.
'Cause, like, you see Nokotan with her giant ass, antlers,
Yep.
and it's just like, "Ooh. Ooh, this is goofy."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. So, as an actor, how did you approach voicing? I'll just call her Tanuki. Um, how
Okay.
how did you approach voicing someone like her?
Okay. So, first, whenever I was told I was going to be voicing Tanuki, they actually told me I would be voicing Tanuki.
Okay.
So, I had assumed, like, just the word Tanuki, not
Okay.
Tanuki
Yeah.
Kochi Kinu.
Yeah.
I had assumed that I was gonna be some random animal, and I was like, "Okay, that's such a cute debut." Because,
Yeah.
like, I saw the deer girl, there
Yeah.
might be just random animals, you know? I
Totally.
didn't I didn't know what it was. So then as I did more research before my recording came up, I was just like, "Oh, she's just like me for real." And so it was very easy to kind of step into, Tanuki Koji
Yeah.
because she's this very anxious, frantic, dramatic personality, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, that's very synonymous to the way that I am. I'm quite expressive, quite, grandiose, if you
Mhm.
will,
Yeah.
and so I literally, with my friends, I go like all the time. And so it just kind of translated really well into not only her character and her
Mhm.
personality, but also the animation.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I felt very lucky that I got to voice for my especially for my debut, to voice
Mhm.
a character that I resonated so much with,
Mhm.
and then she was also so big and dramatic.
Oh my god.
I knew, like, from, like, a technical standpoint as an actor,
Mhm.
that I can give a performance.
Yeah.
And so, every actor's dream to just go big.
Yeah.
And so I really took that and ran with it.
Mhm.
And, and especially it being my anime debut and really trying to solidify my place since, like, I belong in this space. I really approached it in the way of, like, basically act like this is the last time I'm ever gonna act in an anime. And, true it's true, we're never
Yeah.
guaranteed that next job, and that's why we keep auditioning and working and networking and, like, improving our skills and trying to slip into doors where
Yeah.
previously deemed inaccessible,
Mhm.
right? But luckily, wink wink, it is not the final anime that I'll it
Ooh.
is not my final time
Yeah.
in anime.
Hell yeah.
So
Can't- so if Tanuki was a real person, what advice would you give her? Because there were so many times where I was like, girly pop, oh my god.
basically, like, baby girl, go see a
Yeah.
therapist.
Yeah.
It's like she's my baby girl.
Yeah.
And, like, she's very intelligent and she's very
Hmm.
capable and she's very caring. Like, you see it in her interactions with Chiharu. You see it in, like, her hard work and, like, getting all these papers organized for
Yep.
Koshan, for, like, even the stuff with the sports festival. She was, noticing things and just kind of, like, you know, trying to be on top of everything and, like, you know I forget what the line was. It's like, "Ouchie, ouchie, go away." She's very caring, you
Yeah.
know? Um, but she's overwhelmed, like I am, like, I get easily overwhelmed, but
Yeah.
she's very overwhelmed with the idea of not being good enough or not being, perfect.
Hmm.
And it's like, "Baby girl, go see a therapist.
Yeah.
You don't need to be perfect. You're beautifully you."
Yeah.
You know? And so, but I love the color and the dynamic that she
Hmm.
brings to the show
Yeah.
because, she's basically just so earnest and so serious when it doesn't need to be, and
Yep.
that's, how I am. So and so, I did resonate a lot with her character,
Yeah.
and I think that, she just needs to be reminded that she's perfectly okay just the way she is.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. See, my answer would be like, just get on anxiety medication. Just
She might need to see a therapist before she can
yeah.
do that too,
True.
so,
True. Just seek therapy.
It's like,
Please. I
"My
just want the
small
best for you.
bean,
Yeah.
my sweetness."
Yeah. I was like, when she freaked out over the papers, I was like, oh my god.
Oh, yeah, because that's the first
Yeah.
introduction to her psyche
Yeah.
on her fertile imagination.
Yeah.
Not the wording, but, like but, yeah, she just instantly goes to extremes.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh my, so good. So, what was a moment from the show? It could be while you were recording or while you were watching that made you laugh out loud probably the most.
Um, I'll tell you this from recording. Um, so we were kind of recording while everything was still being animated. So, it was really cool to see the process. The first thing that they rendered were the deer, the
Of course.
3D
Of
deer.
course.
And so you would get, like, these sketch scenes, right? They
Yeah.
were, like, not colored, just
Hmm.
lines,
Wow.
sketching out the animation, and
Yeah.
then you just see the 3D deer, and it's
I
just
love
like,
it.
okay. And so that I thought was really silly,
Hmm.
and it made me laugh a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts was a 3D deer where everything
Yeah.
else was 2D and then the deer were 3D and I was like this is an incredible choice here.
It literally is like, "For what reason?" And I
Yeah.
just hear Josh's voice in the back of my head. "None.
None. Yeah.
None."
Hi, I'm Steve Yurko.
And I'm Tara Sands. Now available from Maji Media is our new podcast, 4Kids Flashback. 4Kids is the company who brought you the English dub of Pokemon in the late 90s and so many other shows like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Shaman King, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kirby, the infamous One Piece dub, and so many more.
We'll be talking to the people who worked at 4Kids. Actors, directors, writers, editors, producers, engineers, you get the point. And hopefully get the answers to questions both you and I have about the company.
I actually worked there as a voice actor on some of the shows.
And I was a kid watching the shows and remember way more than Tara does.
And thank God for that. Steve is actually a professional storyboard artist, which gives some really unique insights into anime and animation. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. That's the number 4 Kids Flashback.
Hey guys, welcome to the Patreon portion of today's episode. And if you want to join the Patreon, there are a few different tiers, like shoutouts on the episodes, as well as exclusive videos and behind the scenes content and so much more, and even the episode a day early. Thank you to Gio, Keith, Blythe, Bunny, Mikey, Sheba, and Brooke. And if you want to join the Patreon or find out more, the link will be down below. And yeah, back to the episode. Oh, God. So, how did you originally get into acting in general?
Acting in general, I really got into it in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had put me in some acting classes when I was a wee babe. But I didn't really do anything with it. Like, we didn't really have like a theater program whenever I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So in high school, I took it as an elective, and then I started falling in love with the production process. And so I guess I started my sophomore year of high school. And so I've been acting now for about 10 to 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it just really got me to step outside of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the idea of exploring the human person and the human psyche. And I'm a scientist at heart. Like
Okay.
all over my branding, it says actress, scientist, nerd.
Yeah.
And like I'm like a literal scientist. Like I have a publication in in
Shit.
an academic
All right.
journal
We love
now.
that.
Women in
Woohoo!
STEM.
Hell yeah.
But that curiosity of the human person extends beyond like the physical person,
Mhm.
but into like the spiritual, mental capacity of a person, right?
Mhm.
And so acting really exposed me to like oh my god, why do these people make these kinds of decisions or make these choices?
Yeah.
But then you insert yourself into another person's shoes, and then you start thinking, "Oh, these are the circumstances of my life. These are the things that cause me to think in X, Y, and Z way." It really introduced me to like empathy. um and just I kind of fell in love with the acting process of
Mhm.
kind of discovering this new person, and then also the thrill of performance and storytelling. And so I do have really beautiful and very heartfelt memories of being in high school. And I'm from Texas, and we do this thing called UIL, which is basically academic competitions. And one of those competitions is in theater, one act plays. So we would basically do like a 40-minute one act play, and then, bada bing, bada boom. Um, though those were very those impressed my um like my person, right? And so I kind of just fell in love with the process and the actual act of acting, and I had carried it on ever since.
Yeah, I love that. And so going to back to the sciences part, what kind of made you want to kind of do both, like sciences and voice acting as well?
It's kind of like what I mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
curiosity,
Yeah.
right? For me, I do have a very deep um what's it called? Uh I value like the integrity of the human person. And so that kind of extends itself into the physical manifestation of a person, and then the mental, spiritual like capacity of the person, right?
Mhm.
And so purely curiosity. And it's just like, I want to know how things work. And for
Mhm.
me, like the clinical and biochemical sciences really helped me to understand how physically like our bodies work, how it responds to like stimuli, how it like literally metabolizes food and creates creates energy, or how our body reacts to like infection, etc., etc. Like, don't ask me anything about plants. I know nothing about like a leaf or an animal. Like
Yeah.
that's beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
But I could tell you a little bit about like different metabolic pathways or the functions of lipoproteins, or
Mm-hmm.
like, the coagulation cascade. Like it's like,
Yeah.
those are very specific things about how the human person works.
Mm-hmm.
And then in acting, we kind of delve into how the human person thinks, how
Mm-hmm.
the human person feels. And it feels, to me, it gives me a more complete picture and appreciation of what a person is. And so that is what kind of drives my motivation to pursue both science and acting. Because to me, they're not that dissimilar. They're not very separated.
Yeah. I love that. So what made you I know I love it when voice actors come on here and I was like, I have this and also voice acting. I'm like, that's amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Uh so what kind of pushed you towards voice acting uh compared to, theater or TV and film? What was kind of the thought process?
So I had a really bad breakup in
Okay.
college.
Okay. Valid.
A little traumatic actually.
Okay.
But because originally this is not about the breakup. Originally I was in theater for a long time and I'd been
Mhm.
working on stage, and I always had a fascination with vocal technique specifically.
Okay.
And while I was in college and like doing more shows, I always thought that kind of my niche of theater, because I feel like people have like those different niches of acting, like you were saying earlier. I
Mhm.
thought I was going to go into musical theater. And so COVID hit. And then we were no longer on stage, right? And so around a little before um, we were in the quarantining era of the original pandemic,
Mhm.
I had gone through this really messy breakup. And I had bought for us the video game Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay.
And so I basically took custody of that game
Good.
immediately
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my comfort game to kind of, escape
Mhm.
from like this very big suffering that I was going through. And in the middle of playing it, I was just like, wait a minute, because, it's fully voice acted.
Yeah.
And I love Fire Emblem, and I was like, that's like one of my favorite games. And I was just really engrossed with the story.
Mhm.
And I was just like, wait a minute, people do this for a job. And I was just like, wait a minute,
Mhm.
voice acting is acting too. And so that's where I kind of started looking into it and just kind of getting more involved with both like the information and the community um, surrounding voice acting. And then in 2020, literally January 1st, I got like my first little gig as a voice actor. And so I started voice acting 2020.
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
again, like that fascination with vocal
yeah.
technique kind of it was like obvio.
Yeah.
Pero like also like you heard her earlier, I am type 1 diabetic.
Mhm.
She screams sometimes. But and like I've had times like on stage where I would get hypoglycemic. So
Oh shit.
um
Yeah.
yeah, so like in some roles I would carry like gummy candies in like a hidden pocket. I would
Mm.
have Capri Suns hidden backstage to go like, okay,
Yep.
let's go.
Yep.
And so voice acting also from a practical standpoint and an accessibility standpoint was also a lot more easy for me to do like physically.
Mhm.
Like I'm not having to move as much and like exert all of like that glucose.
Yeah.
And then additionally, I hate memorizing things. So 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 it just
Yeah.
kind of worked.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love the beautiful accessibility point, and then just like I hate memorizing things. I just
It's a dichotomy. Like
Yeah.
it like it that just emphasized how perfect the voice acting medium is for me.
Yeah.
So
Totally. Oh my god. So speaking of memorizing things, whenever this comes up, it how do you do cold reads? Because I look at those and I get scared.
I feel like cold reads are actually very freeing
Okay.
because basically it shows you like it's basically like, do you know how to read?
Yeah.
It's like, and so
Yeah.
and so it's just like I don't know. Like I grew up like in the Catholic Church, so when I was a kid and like growing older, they had me lecture a lot for readings and like
Mhm.
you're like supposed to prepare the reading before the mass starts. Sometimes I wouldn't. And so, you got to be up there and be confident and like, I love you,
Mhm.
Jesus. But like just like, just you know, declare this reading out and make it digestible, but also kind of like because some people think church is boring, unfortunately. So it's just like you got to make it a little engaging so people can like digest it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of think of cold reading like as that because if you really break it down, it's just basically are you going to keep people engaged and can people understand what you're saying? Cuz like I'll give my secret hints tips out. Um for me, I try to consider like quite a few things whenever I'm delivering a cold read.
Mhm.
First of all, like prior to the cold read, if you know you're going to do a cold read, you want to do like a bunch of warm-ups,
Yeah.
like especially like alliteration warm-ups. And I do like there's like on Spotify, there's like 5-minute, 10-minute vocal warm-ups for singers. I do
Oh,
that.
hell yeah.
It helps the pathways, especially when you go in terms of pitch. And then the second thing I consider about cold reading is how do I make this as colorful as possible?
Mhm.
And then caveat, like I'm notoriously bad at reading for like stoic characters. So it's but anyway, it's like how can I give the most varied performance in terms of pitch, in
Mhm.
terms of timbre, in terms of color, in terms like of intensity or loudness. It's like a whole amalgamation of characteristics. You can see how my science mind kind of
Yeah.
incorporates into like my
Yeah.
acting methods, right? It's just like, how do I consider all of these variables,
Mhm.
plug it into this performance, and create like a unique and colorful outcome?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like you have an opportunity to read it in your head several times. So it's like so it's not usually like you're given the script and then you're like, okay, go.
Yeah.
You can look at it maybe once or
Mhm.
twice. So it is kind of like, okay, go, but like,
Yeah.
read.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know. For me, breaking it down into like those characteristics
Mhm.
of a performance really helped me to deliver a strong performance, at
Okay, yeah.
least.
Yeah. I love that. So since you started voice acting, what has been kind of the hardest lesson you've learned?
Um, I guess it's very much like the progression of the career, right? Because I've grown to understand, at least in like my science career and stuff, like that progression is never linear. Like it can take twists and turns and like,
Mhm.
be all over the place. But in terms of voice acting, sometimes there are dry spells. There are a lot of people that started around the same time as I did and are like literally almost household names now. And it's
Wow.
very yeah, and it's like I have to applaud them for like the hard work that they dedicated to the craft and to the career. But it's also you have to like look at yourself and really um admit basically how much are you willing to put into this?
Yep.
what are you expecting? And like kind of what is the end goal of all of this, right? And so it's not enough to just keep churning out auditions, unfortunately, in my opinion. In
Yeah.
my opinion. It's like you have to go outside of yourself. You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to network. You have to do your marketing. You have to strengthen your performances with professional development. Example, like workshops and stuff. And it's just like, it's not as simple as like, I want to be an anime. And like, honestly, and especially if you're a remote actor like me, it's like, you know, anime is not a very easy um like niche or field to get into,
Yeah.
like as a voice actor. And so it's like balancing my expectations and then also giving myself a lot of grace in terms of like my life versus other people's lives in terms of like, my career, right? Is like for me, I'm just like there like sometimes I used to have this question a lot. It's like, why are so many people getting these opportunities that I'm not when we like started at the same time? Like da 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 da. And like I had to be honest with myself, and it's just because like I have not put in the work to warrant that like the entitlement to those kinds of roles or opportunities, right? And so it really isn't until you actually put in the work, because a lot of these people, like a lot of my peers and my friends, that they like poured their heart and their soul and their money and their time and their education into this. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a scientist. I was focusing on school at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been impossible for me to like be like skyrocket my career in voiceover and also pass all of my upper division science classes at the same time,
Yeah.
right? And it's like especially want to address people who are interested in a lot of things or very multifaceted or just like have other things in life. Like voice acting is never going to be your 100% priority in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're juggling so many things, they all are going to suffer to some capacity, unfortunately. And that's kind of a reality.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes you can focus on one thing more than the other. And then, this thing will be stronger than this one for a time. And like that's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's 100% you can dedicate yourself to your craft at that time. And it's all about being realistic and being honest with yourself, which was really hard for me to do. Like I've only realized this within like the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And like no, literally me, I'm just like I took like a year or so hiatus and I'm just like, why am I not in anime yet? Like girl, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And it's like again, you really have to apply yourself and also respect and commend other people's careers and the effort and the energy and like how much of their passion that they put into their craft, because
Mhm.
that is what made them successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I I get that because for this, I only started this like year and a half ago ish. And I had been doing online content for like 15 years. Yeah,
Sheesh.
but it was a bunch of like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then do it for like 2 months and then be like, I'm back with another thing. And then I'm like, aren't I like doing good things? And I was like, because you keep taking breaks, you keep like your life is you have to think about,
Yeah. And it's also you have to be it is okay to take a break, and it
yeah,
is okay to not put your 100% into something. Like, for me, like, it's okay for me to not be 100% at voice acting
yeah,
because I have life. It's like, I have a life that needs to be, considered, that needs to be addressed too, and it's just like, I'm just so impressed that you've stayed so, like, consistent with, like, your craft and, like, your
yeah.
podcast now, and, like, look
Mhm.
at you now. Look
Yeah.
where we're at. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you.
Oh, thank you. But it's honestly, it's literally years and years of learning
Mhm.
what works for me and what doesn't, because like one of my friends, I was explaining, because they have like 4 or 5 podcasts,
Oh, wow.
and like they're a producer, they're like they know their shit, and I was like,
Big boy stuff.
yeah, and like I was like, yeah, I just haven't really taken I don't have a day off, like like I haven't taken a day off since I started, like I've never skipped an episode, and she just stops and goes, Adam, you can take a break. And I was like, respectfully, my ADHD will not let me do that, because as soon as I stop, it's done. And like,
And it's like, you know yourself
yeah,
too.
exactly. And
Mhm.
like, I wouldn't have known that 4 or 5 years ago. I would have been like, oh, I could take a break. And then I'd stop and be like, oh, well, my brain's just like, no, it's done.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's all about like learning yourself and kind of working with the person you are instead of the person you want to be, right?
Mhm. Yeah, putting into that context,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
100% yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So getting back to the anime part, um how has your relationship with anime changed since becoming a voice actor?
I mean, I watch a lot more dub now, like, it's um, mainly, actually, it's just more of, like, really respecting the technique of ADR,
Mhm.
and, because you can be a really, really good actor, even a really, really good voice actor,
Yeah.
but if you don't get those lip flaps down, like but basically, just inherently, like, a lot more appreciation for the art form
Mhm.
and for, the technical skill of anime dubbing,
Yeah.
and by extension, live action dubbing, just dubbing in general, ADR. Um, but yeah, just mainly consuming more, dub content, and it's really interesting because whenever you start to watch anime.
Oh my goodness, bless you. That was adorable.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. But, what I was trying to say,
Yeah.
when you start approaching anime not just for, like, an entertainment, perspective, but also an educational perspective, we gotta write off our Crunchyroll subscription and our taxed documents. Um,
Ooh, I'm gonna write that
but
down. That's a good idea.
but, you start to see interesting trends or
Mhm.
interesting, like, techniques or, you start to notice a lot of things you hadn't before.
Yeah.
And I also really like this trend of anime to being a little bit more grounded, a
Mhm.
little bit more, less this,
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
but, I very much do think there's always a time and
Oh,
place
yeah.
because you always need, like, a
Yeah.
every now and again. But, like but, I think also, like, for people with, like, a lot of theater backgrounds or, like, people with especially when we talk about women or femme presenting, characters, you have more voices that are a lot more, deep and a lot
Yeah.
more rich, and I just like the cadence of,
Oh, so
like,
do I.
those types of characters
Yeah.
anyway, so it's like, it's like the singer dilemma of, like, "Give altos more parts,"
Yeah.
or, that it's like that energy,
Yeah.
but for voice acting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny how like I started getting more friends and who are voice actors and stuff, and like, and
Mhm.
now that I'm watching like 9 uh anime a season, because I'm like, I'm so happy for you getting cast, but there's too many of you. I could be like, oh, this person's in this person's in this, and I'm like, oh no, my whole week is
No, but kudos to you for being such a good and lovely friend. We love the support.
Well, yeah, because like I also want to see how well they're doing, and I also want to see, like you were saying, the trends that are happening in anime, and like,
Mhm.
I am loving the tone downness and like like it feel if I don't want to say it feels more real, but like
Mhm.
I always am like I don't like the sub versus dub debate because it's just
Mhm.
it's pointless.
Yeah.
There's no point. Like it's, I watch both, mainly dub because the epilepsy. Subtitles are not my best friend.
Mhm.
But
It's also an accessibility thing.
yeah, exactly. Which kind of funny when people are like, "Ooh, I'm a sub," and I'm like, "I'm dub," and then I say the accessibility thing, and they're like, "Okay, I guess that makes sense." I was like, "Yeah, stop being an asshole." Uh, but yeah, I love the more toned down like
Mhm.
performances. Obviously, we love the the 4 Kids era of
Oh god.
what they were given.
Jelly donuts
Yeah,
and
jelly donuts and
okay, am I
Brooklyn Sanji.
crazy?
What?
Am Sorry, I got
No.
the Brooklyn Sanji
Yeah.
got me. Um, but am I crazy or was Beyblade on 4 Kids as well?
Yep.
Okay, because I remember watching a lot of Beyblade.
Yep. Yeah, sure was. Yeah, I don't remember any of the lines.
Pegasus!
Yeah. I was like, is that Yu-Gi-Oh? Uh also getting like more into anime as a kid. I learned some things about anime that I loved as a kid that I'm like, no, that's not right. I'm sorry. That's not my headcanon. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Like speaking of Pegasus, according to the manga, he's a 19-year-old man. I'm like, no, that's a 40-year-old man.
Wait,
No,
what?
yeah. I'm like, there's no way he's 19. I'm sorry. With that hair, no.
That's shocking to me.
Yep. Yep. I thought he was a grown ass. Well, I mean, technically as a grown ass adult, but like with a mortgage and
Yeah, yeah. No, by the way, he'd be sending people to the graveyard, I
yeah.
guess, you know?
Yeah. I was like,
Then how old was Kaiba? Like, what, 15?
yeah, I want to say like Yugi's age. I want to say like they were all in the same class. So
That's insane.
yeah. Yeah. And like I I still stand by the fact that like Joey Wheeler's accent is the best accent in all of 4 Kids.
Kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just
It's
like
kind of
Yugi,
iconic.
Time Wizard.
Yugs.
Yugs. Oh my god, so good. So before we go, I do have one more question. What advice do you have for people wanting to get into voice acting?
Voice acting in general or anime voice acting?
Voice acting in general.
Okay. So voice acting in general, um sorry, I'm just thinking
No,
of
you're good.
like honestly, to approach voice acting with sincerity, um 1, 2, get training
Mm-hmm.
or practice in whatever capacity you can because high key, low key, there are a lot of voice actors out there, very popular voice actors out there that had no previous acting training and just, learned by consuming the media that they wanted to be in. So that goes in number 2. And number 3, build community. Because I also didn't really realize this until like a couple of years ago when I really started incorporating myself into um, not only just like the online community, but my local community of voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
And like the only reason why I was able to even record for Nokotan was because I have voice actor friends in my area. Because there was like a huge flood that went through Houston and like it cut out my power
Oh
and my
my god.
internet. And so I had a friend who I would not have met if I had not put myself out there and made friends. She let me use her booth. And I was just like, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
And like making friends and creating a community of like-minded people that really not only want what's best for you, but also understand your specific struggles as a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
It was so imperative to the growth of my career that I literally would not be where I am today without them. So, you know, get your acting chops up, be nice, build community.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Yeah, the sheer amount of times that I ask that question and everyone's like, don't be an asshole. Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, like sometimes assholes go under the radar for a
Mhm.
very long time.
Oh, yeah.
But like literally, if you're a nice person and you are sincere about your love of anime,
Mhm.
video games, commercials about eggs, I guess. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it'll take you far.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This was so lovely.
Oh, yeah, of course. So, where can the lovely people find you?
Uh.
Online.
you can you can visit my website at NicoletteKong.com, just spelled as how my name is spelled. I'm on Twitter at Nickolette Kong and on Instagram at Nickolette Kong VO.
Perfect. All right. All of those will be down in the description. You can follow me at Corky Cosplays on Instagram, Adam Corky everywhere else. Subscribe to the Patreon. You get the videos a day early, as well as exclusive
Ooh.
videos and behind the scenes.
Ooh.
And yeah, I hope you have a lovely week. I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.